Hello everyone, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. Previously, we managed to prove that Larry was pretty much just interested in going down the chimney to surprise his co-worker, who in fact was not his co-worker. It was actually Wendy Oldbag, who was substituting for the real Pink Princess. But the question remains is, who killed Damask II? And Shilon Lane here really does think that Larry might have done it still, so we need to prove that he couldn't have. And this is going to be a lot harder to prove than the things we previously did. The only thing I can think of is that we need to point out that the prop sword couldn't possibly have done it. But that also begs the question, why does the wound in the corpse match the blade that apparently couldn't have done it? Well, we'll just have to figure things out, so let's get going. I was the one who found the body of the victim, Damask II.
Hold it!
So you were the first to discover the body this time. This time? What's that supposed to mean? Better watch what you say. I only said this time because earlier Kay was the first to discover the body in Babal. And your secretary, Agent Sheena, was ready to accuse her of murder for that. So you gonna try to use that excuse to call me suspicious now? Of course not. I was simply pointing out the usual pattern with discoveries of bodies. But in the Babalese case, there was proof that she was holding the weapon, right? Well, in this one, it's a bit different since we know exactly where the weapon is. Beside him was the samurai sword, glittering red and offering up the scent of blood. Excuse me, but glittering red and offering up the scent of blood? Do I have to spell it out for you? I mean the sight and smell of blood, of course. And according to the test, the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. The sword was made to only be used on stage, so it's not sharp. But it is pretty weighty, certainly heavy enough to beat someone to death with. Which leads me to suspect that the victim has beaten to death with the sword. Okay, maybe there aren't any, puncture wounds in the body. So, Damask II was bludgeoned to death, then. Beaten to death, huh? This last statement is too important to just let it slip by. Yeah. Let's see. So he changed his phrasing on this, huh? I suspect he beat the victim to death with that, with that thing. About this samurai sword, have you received a report from forensics yet? They confirmed that the blood on the sword belongs to the victim. Alright, but have they confirmed that the outline of this wound is consistent with the weapon? Tell me something. Do you see the dead body right there in front of you? So, they were conducting the autopsy right now. Shouldn't the body not be here? Well, I suppose so. I guess they must still be investigating this room. Meaning that it's possible he doesn't know about that piece of evidence's true nature. Anything else you'd like to chit-chat about? No? Good. Now let's continue. It was supposed to be in the Steel Samurai's dressing room, but I found it here instead. Larry has already testified that he forgot the samurai sword here. Yeah, I was shaking hands with the ambassador in here, and I left it behind by accident. So what? You lied earlier, so who's to say that this excuse isn't just another lie? But I forget stuff all the time, right, Edgy? Tell him. Why don't you tell him yourself? You see? What did I tell you earlier? No one will buy such a pathetically weak excuse. Yes, well, I know that it's not possible to prove such an excuse as truth. And yet you offer it up as fact. You're a worse person than I originally thought. You are free to think what you'd like. However, I know that Larry is not the killer. Agent Lane, please continue with your argument. I'll expose the flaw in it soon enough. Plus, I found the murder weapon's owner, the suspect, Larry Butts, in here too. Just because he is the owner of the weapon, therefore he must be the killer, is it? No, climbing all the way up to the chimney is plenty suspicious in my book as well. Regarding that, I have already drawn the truth out, and the truth is one thing I don't bend. It doesn't matter if it's you or whoever. You prosecutors are all the same. And as for me, prosecutors are the one thing I don't trust in. What is this guy's story? An agent who doesn't trust prosecutors? What are you playing at? Sorry, sis. But there are only two things I trust. My subordinates and evidence at the crime scene. Agent Lane hates prosecutors. But as long as he trusts evidence that has been left at a crime scene, then there is something I can show him that he can believe in. It's simply not possible that the samurai sword is the real murder weapon. So I should focus on proving that point to Agent Lane first. Yes. Sir, that is impossible. Because the props are hollow. Do you know what this is, Agent Lane? It's a lawn spear, right? We used to use those things a lot in my country a long time ago. Piercing, mowing people down. Spears are the weapon of heroes throughout history. Preach! It's the next most effective weapon after the whip. I think whips are like literally the least effective weapon. Great for torturing, but really bad in warfare. I think the whip is in a slightly different category. So, what's your point? You gonna tell me that the spear is the real weapon? No, I simply want you to take a look at this section here. Wait, it's bent. Precisely. Apparently, a certain troublemaker hit it against a wall in this embassy earlier. And as you can clearly see, the inside of the steel samurai's weapons are hollow. In other words, they're replicas that aren't strong enough to deliver a damaging blow, let alone the multiple strikes necessary to bludgeon someone to death. And yet there is not even a dent in the samurai sword. How do you explain that? Yeah! Oh yeah, the sword and the spear are made of the same stuff, so they bend easily. But I wish they'd make them out of better stuff, because the spear got bent. I wasn't able to do my special early summer rain jab move. Man, I got such an earful from the director of the play for not doing it in the show. The Steel Samurai special move was changed tonight because of him. It will never not be funny how much Edgeworth loves the Steel Samurai. Youch! That's more than enough of your whiny whimpering. Now, back on the topic of the spear. Yes, let's return to the real topic of discussion. This is where the real gamble begins. I don't have a real strategy per se, so all I can do for now is let the chips fall where they may. Using guesswork and taking risks in place of real logic is hardly the Von Karma way. It's neither smart nor very clever. Miss Von Karma, as you know, unlike your father, I am not a genius prosecutor. Plus, I doubt his record of a 40-year win streak will ever be broken. But perhaps it is for the best if it remains unbroken. For no one should have conceived of the notion to convict all defendants in the first place. Damn. What a foolishly foolish statement from a foolish fool who hates to lose. It's the job of a prosecutor to make sure that all defendants are found guilty in court. There's nothing more important in this world than a perfect victory. So, like, are we just sweeping Franziska's character development in the second game under the rug? Like, she had that whole thing where she was going abroad to, like, become a better person. She's really just sticking by this rule. It feels like nothing happened. Well, whatever. That may be your opinion, however, I don't believe that's all we are. As a prosecutor, what I pursue is not the perfect victory, but the perfect truth. And if that means that the bridge I must cross will crumble beneath my feet, then let it crumble as I walk on towards the truth. Now that's a quote. You're good at keeping me entertained, Mr. Prosecutor. But you know, humans are delicate creatures. The slightest bump and we expire. I'd like to consider, if you will, the possibility that the sword was used in such a way that the attack killed Damask II without bending it. So, what do you think of my hypothetical scenario? I think you know what to do here, right? What you need. Of course. What I need is evidence even Agent Lane can't refute. This is it. It's time to bring this to a close. It's possible to use a samurai sword to kill someone, and under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. We searched the embassy, top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. So isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall into the owner of said weapon? How long do you intend to cling onto that preposterous theory? As long as I want, because we examined every corner within the walls of this embassy. There's no stone we've left unturned. Okay, let me tell you about this pile of stones over in the back that can turn. And we have managed to come up with only one logical conclusion. That the only place inside this embassy with the victim's blood on it is this sword. You left no stone unturned. Is that a fact? If you've got something to say, then say it in the only way I respect, Mr. Prosecutor. Yes, of course. In that case, allow me to make it all crystal clear for you. This is gonna be good. It's possible to use a samurai sword to kill someone. May I inquire as to how are you able to make such a claim, Agent Lane? Lane Ji says, capable of miracles beyond comprehension, a mysterious creature is man. Rather than man, it's Agent Lane's quotes that are getting increasingly incomprehensible. The human body is a mysterious thing. Even with a toy-like sword, it's easy to kill a man if you hit just the right spot. Which is why I think it's possible to kill with this thing without leaving a dent. But we can only be sure one way or the other by seeing if the wound matches the sword. I know that. As long as it's a possibility, I can proclaim it as much as I'd like. And under these circumstances, it's the only logical conclusion. But you must know that your conclusion is wrong. Given the circumstances I'm in, the only people I can trust are my subordinates. Because they're a much more trustworthy bunch than you prosecutors will ever be. And you call yourself a professional. You still don't see, do you, Mr. Prosecutor? You have to earn my trust. And the only way to do that is to show me proof of another possible murder weapon. Another possible murder weapon? In this room, there is only one other thing left. This is going to be a gamble, but I can withdraw from the game now. You're not going to get me to trust you by the power of your glare alone, you know. Plus, I have other reasons as to why I think the samurai sword is a murder weapon. We searched the embassy top to bottom, but the victim's blood is only on that weapon. The only place where you could find blood was on the samurai sword. That's right, even with luminol. Which means that there are no other possibilities outside of what I've already outlined. Do I have a problem with Agent Lane's assertion with the samurai sword as a weapon? Let's leave this be for now. We need to get him on the turning stones. Let's leave it be just for now. We'll come back to it maybe. Maybe I should see how this plays out for a bit longer. Agent Lane, if you could be so kind as to continue with your testimony. So isn't it only natural that suspicion would fall onto the owner of said weapon? And what if you were to find a different murder weapon? Would that clear Larry's name? Are you saying you can prove the possibility? Of course. And if you don't believe that I can, then I'll show you something to convince you. Evidence that you cannot refute. Sounds like fun, Mr. Prosecutor. Alright then, go ahead and show me what you've got. I can prove to you the possibility that the murder weapon is something else. But I cannot do so on my strength alone. Miles Edgeworth, what are you running straight into a quagmire for? I thought you said that you were busy in pursuit of perfect truth. And if that's the case, then show me this perfect truth if it exists at all. Don't worry. Thanks to you, I've already prepared myself to do just that. There is no need to thank me. I'm simply doing what any good superior would. I suppose you are. Very well then, I will show you the possibility of a different murder weapon. Okay. I guess we do need to press this a bit. I hope he talks about the right thing. If you believe that there is no other door of possibility left to open, then allow me to force one open for you. And how do you plan to do that? By showing you with what may possibly be the real murder weapon. The real murder weapon. I hate to repeat myself, but my men have already searched every last inch of this embassy. They've concluded that nothing else could have been used as a weapon. Knowing these facts, do you still want to press forward with your little hypothesis? Of course, because it's not possible that your men inspected everything in their investigation. What are you talking about? I don't appreciate mind games, and I don't appreciate it when people like you slander my men. I'm not slandering them, I assure you. I'm merely pointing out that in their investigative dragnet has a few holes in it. Namely, that there is something your men couldn't even lay a finger on. And that item is the real murder weapon. Alright then, I'll play along for now. This real weapon that killed Damask II. What exactly is it? The real murder weapon, which not a single person has yet to touch, is this. Well, it's forbidden to touch the statues, but... Alright, so... moved during the murder. It's definitely facing a different way. So, if the body is marked with signs of bludgeoning, a statue could certainly do the job. Lord knows that was established way earlier in this franchise. Do I think that the alabaster statue is what did it? Is that the murder weapon? Yeah, I mean... It was said that it's forbidden to touch the statues. I'm gonna go with this. It seems like the most likely thing. The National Treasure of Alabast. You mean the Primiduck statue? Yes, and as you know, only the ambassador and his secretariat may touch it. Which, I believe, means that neither you nor your men were able to examine it, correct? You know very well that if we did that, there'd be an international incident. Between the Kingdom of Alabast and the Republic of Babal. The two countries' precarious relationship teeters in the balance over a stupid fight related to a sovereignty statue. But I'll be damned if I let something go unexamined. Agent Lane, if you could take a look at this. The direction the statue is facing just before and after the crime are different. And there is only one conclusion I can draw from that. Go look for Ambassador Alba. Get him to give us the okay to examine the statue. Sifu, you can't listen to this infidel's words. He is most definitely trying to trick you. Sifu, please, let's be rational about this. Grrr. Lang Ji says, just go already. Yes, sir. Sifu. Yeah? I'm really sorry, sir, but I was unable to convince the ambassador. I was unable to obtain permission for us to examine the Primiduck statue. I see. Wait, but then the investigation is at a standstill. Agent Lane, I will go and speak with the ambassador personally. Save your breath. You may act all weak and frail, but that old man's one tough cookie. I guess you've got to be tough when you're representing the whole country, you know? Agent Lane, what do you want? Just hurry up and examine the statue already. But Sifu, what about causing an international incident? Quiet. I'll take the fall if I have to later. Agent Lane, the hypothesis is mine, so if someone is to take the responsibility, let it be me. Responsibility? If we're gonna talk in such heavy terms, maybe I should let ya. It'd be a real problem for my men if something were to happen to me. Alright then, less talk and more investigating. If we want to know the truth, we can't stop here. Action must be taken. Agent Lane, I'd like to run a luminal chemiluminescence test on the statue. A luminal test. Good thinking. The statue is the murder weapon, and some of the victim's blood should be on it. Okay, let's get the forensics team in here. I'll be... Looks like you hit the jackpot, Mr. Prosecutor. I guess this means that this is the real weapon that killed Damask II. Indeed. But I wouldn't celebrate yet if I were you. This doesn't let your friend off the hook. Doesn't prove that he didn't kill Damask II, so the charge remains. We are hardly done examining the statue, Agent Lane. Knowing that it is the real weapon, I believe further examination is required. Heh, you think so? Okay then, knock yourself out. Okay. What's on the bottom? A handprint. And what do we have here? This dirty smudge. It looks like a handprint. What's a definitive bit of evidence like you doing under here? Looks like we've got some fingerprints to analyze. Worst case scenario, these prints belong to Larry. Well, he was wearing gloves, wasn't he, in a suit? But it looks like it's too late for me to do anything about that now. Hey, forensics guy, want results on these fingerprints ASAP, you hear me? Agent Lane, I have the analysis results, sir. Good, and? Sir, about the prints we lifted from the bottom of the statue. Well, you know the victim of the murder in the Babalese embassy. The prints belong to him, Mr. Manny Cochin, sir. Yo. Oh. Everything's been... Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Ooh. Oh, okay. Well, this opens a new can of worms, doesn't it? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, wow. But that's... What's going on around here? No, that's... impossible. Each Primodex statue can only be handled by someone of that country. But by the very fact that Mr. Cochin's fingerprints are on this one, it leads me to only one conclusion. This statue is actually Babal's Primodex statue. Impossible! It can't be! Yeah! Larry never once set foot on Babalese soil, so he was free to go. What? Yeah, he did. The Steel Samurai went to the other embassy. Huh. However, this new piece of information only served to confuse us even further. The ringleader of the smuggling operation was killed with an alabastrian knife in Babal. And Damask II was killed on alabastrian soil with Babal's national treasure. And the mystery of the great thief Yadagarasu, who visited both countries. The pieces were there, but I had yet to see the big picture they were to form. To be continued indeed. I feel like this case might be very long. I'm just getting that inkling just now. Okay, I think it's still the same night. I've left the Damask II investigation to Franziska and returned to Babal. I suppose my first order of business should be to look into Babal's statue. Mr. Edgeworth! So, Kay, what's the situation? Oh, it's great! Investigating is so much fun! In other words, they've made absolutely no progress. Well, we weren't goofing off, honest, sir. We've been investigating our hearts out. Very well, then. Would you care to give me an update on your investigation? We've had a really fun time, sir. I knew it. Zero progress. In any case, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir? You have permission to enter the Alabastrian Embassy, is that correct? Yup. As a local detective, I'm helping out with the investigations on both sides, sir. Good. In that case, I can leave these pieces of evidence with you. They belong to the lady under the Pink Princess's mask. The Pink Princess? What kind of lady was playing her, sir? The kind that was also playing the role of the Pink Badger yesterday. Understood, sir. If I happen to run into her, I'll give them back to her. And if I don't, then I guess I'll load them somewhere. He doesn't seem all that enthused to go find her, but I can't blame him. Evidence that has lost their value given to Detective Gumshoe. Oh, good. Now then, I don't believe I'll be needing this anymore either. What? Are you really going to throw that autograph away? Yes, because that Steel Samurai was a fake. Steel Samurai's autograph scrunched up into a ball and disposed of. Wait, what? What do you mean by fake? Now then, I believe it's time for a little housekeeping. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Well, let's definitely take a look. Okay, the statue, the body, both knives. European paper document. Printed in Bob-Lee's ink. Incriminates Cochin. Bob-Lee's knife handle. Ink. Counterfeit bills. Well, not real bills, but the idea of them. Master Second's note. Permadex statue of Alabast. Still these flowers. Okay, and that's curious. The bent spear is still going to be relevant, but not the fake sword. Interesting. And samurai dogs, okay. Huh. Interesting. Okay, Kate. How you doing? Yes? How is the investigation going in the Bob-Lee's Secretariat's office, Kay? Well, even though we found a few treasures, they've all been pretty much burnt to a crisp. A treasure is a terrible thing to waste. Anyway, is there anything else I should know about? Oh, that's right. You know what I found in that office? A wooden bear carving. It's so cute. Can I have it, huh? Can I? No, of course you can't. By the sound of things, it appears that there has been no progress in the investigation. Okay, anything I feel like showing to her? The dogs? It's a box of samurai dogs, right? But see, I'm a Jammin Ninja fan. So while I would love to have one, I'm going to be strong and resist the urge. Well then, how about we slowly enjoy them after we crack this case? Okay, fine, you twisted my arm. Let's indulge. Cute. Okay, about this piece of evidence. Huh? May I really have it? But you know, as the Yatagarasu, it'd be bad if I couldn't get this by myself. Sorry, but I have no intention of giving you this piece of evidence. Oh, really? Guess I misunderstood. I feel like I've had a very similar conversation with someone else before. Yeah, I can't imagine anything else would be new with her. Okay, Gumshoe, anything? Oh no, there's a classic tune. Mr. Edgeworth! You look like you're enjoying yourself, Detective. Well, I don't have much else that I enjoy as much as a good investigation, sir. So, what did you find out? Oh, well... I take it he has found nothing of any particular use, as usual. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, I got something really interesting from Ambassador Polano. Oh? And what is this something interesting? This, sir. Wow, that's so pretty. I'm so jealous. It's a real treasure there. Why does the flame burn green, Detective? So apparently, if you burn the special wit crystal oil that they only make in Babal, it burns this green color, sir. Interesting. So it's a special property of the oil. I suppose this is a ploy to force people to visit Babal should the oil run out. Hey, Gummy, what about these silhouettes? They stuck some cutouts on the outside of the lantern so it would project the images. Oh? Silhouettes, huh? They are rather pretty, aren't they? Wait, what am I doing? I was supposed to be asking for an update on the investigation. Hey, what's wrong, sir? There's something I want you to investigate for me. Do you think you can do that much? You got it, sir.
Hey, that's not fair. Why is Gummy getting to do all the fun stuff?
Ah, well, that's because I'm Mr. Edgeworth's partner.
I can't believe you took advantage of the confusion and stole my role as assistant.
I expect the two of you to get along and work together like professionals on this. Looks like it's depicting the silhouette of a butterfly. Of course, it could be modified at any time to show the silhouette of something else. Yeah, okay. Anything over here? A stepladder! A ladder.
Actually, that's a stepladder. Yeah! Yeah!
She said the thing! Oh, my throat. They're the exact same thing.
No way! From their structure up, they're totally different. But of course, from a thief's perspective, the best kind of ladder is a rope ladder. A stepladder is much too heavy to carry around, after all. And from a prosecutor's perspective, any type of ladder is guilty
Of being dangerous during an earthquake. Oh, wow, that cut deep, Edgeworth. Okay. Ah, so you're back now, are you, Mr. Edgeworth? You must be tired. Here, with these, you can eat whatever you'd like. And these are discount tickets for our cafeteria. They open tomorrow at 10 in the morning. I appreciate the concern, however, these coupons do nothing for me right now. Okay. This open-air stage, what function does it serve exactly? Well, normally we use it for a variety of events. It's all to attract that extra bit of attention to the ball. I heard that tonight over in the Alabastian Rose Garden, Ambassador Alba was to give a speech. And you know what? Manny told me that I really should give a speech too. Mr. Cochin told you that? Yes, he did. Which is why I thought I should give a speech of my own. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to. Because of the fire the Yatagarasu started. Exactly. Ambassador Paleno, I'd like to ask you a little more about the Primaduck statue. Oh, I see. Well, let me ask you this. Did you know that Alabast and Babal used to be one country called Codopia? Yes, I know that much about your history. Well, the Primaduck statue belonged to the founders of Codopia. At least that's how the story goes. It was bequeathed unto the king of Codopia as a symbol of the country's wealth. So it was meant as a symbol of sovereignty, and the right to rule, I take it. Yes, that's right, which is why both countries are so adamant about their claim. We hold the real statue, therefore we hold the right to rule, is the reasoning. It's pretty petty when you think about it, though, I suppose. But if Alabast and Babal were to re-establish relations, shouldn't that put an end to the squabbling over the statue? I have no reason to believe so. The Primaduck statue is even more important now as a key to diplomacy. I wonder if Ambassador Paleno knows about what has happened to the very important key to the diplomacy. Perhaps I should try showing him this key and see what he has to say about it. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. But that can wait. Ambassador Paleno, there's just one thing I'd like to ask you about. Yes? Oh, and don't worry. You can ask more than just one thing. How about 2 or 3? In exchange, I expect you'll be coming to Babal, yes? Please give us money. Thank you, but just the one thing is all I require. Manny Cochin, I'd like to ask you about this man who was your secretary. Sure, I'll tell you what I know. Thank you for your cooperation, Ambassador. He was, well, if I had to put it in one word, he was an able man. If there was ever anything I needed as an ambassador, he was able to get it for me. To think that a man like that had a hand in a smuggling ring right under my nose, going completely unnoticed. Actually, I suppose because he was an able man, I was unable to detect his dirty dealings. It sounds like Mr. Cochin had a very sharp mind. Recently, Manny had been really busy. Since I became the Bobolese representative at the Country Unification Council, he's been working tirelessly to cover my work for me. I'm sorry, but what is this Country Unification Council? Oh, well, you see, had tonight's events proceeded without a hitch, our two countries were to reunify and become one again. But I guess with how things turned out, that dream won't be realized anytime soon. I suppose not. Wow. Well, that threw a wrench into the plans, didn't it? Okay. Ambassador Paleno, if you could please take a look at this for me. The Primadux statue sitting in Alabast right now actually belongs to Babal. So it would appear. I received a call from Miss Von Karma about this earlier. Then you will understand why I wish to inspect Babal's Primadux statue immediately. Because the statue currently in your country's possession... Yes, well, I've already inspected it myself. And it is definitely Alabast statue. I know because it's the real statue. Oh. Then you're saying that Babal's was a replica? I'm embarrassed to say it's true, even though I knew that someday it would be exposed. I received my orders from the leaders of Babal, and I was to negotiate with Ambassador Alba at this event. I was to negotiate with him and fix the results of the evaluation tonight, to say that we could not determine which statue was the real one. Wow. A bit of smoke and mirrors to put on just the show they wanted to show the world, huh? Wow. Why are you telling me this? Well, because we already figured it out. Our statue is just a hollow gold shell. Hollow, you say? Even if Babal were to lose face, the reunification of the country is what's important. I'm right in thinking that, aren't I? I'm not making a mistake, right? If you don't know yourself, then I won't pretend to know either. I never thought that by being betrayed by my own secretary, the real symbol of wealth would be given to me. Isn't it simply ironic? Hey, where are you going? Are you heading back to Alabast? Yes, but before I do, I suppose I should give you a summary of what's happened. Oh, I see. So there's been a murder in both countries using an object from the other country. That's the gist of it. Babal is just as strict as Alabast in their inspection of the people and things that enter their country. Meaning that somehow both murder weapons were smuggled into the two countries. That's the only logical conclusion that can be drawn. Perhaps the key to the weapon smuggling is the person who traversed both countries. You mean the fake Yatagarasu? In one way or another, the Yatagarasu is connected. Of this I am sure. Now then, where was the Yatagarasu first spotted? I believe it was the Rose Garden on the Alabastian side of the embassy. The garden is just on the other side of this boundary. It's where Ambassador Alba was to give a speech tonight. At least that's where I heard the Yatagarasu had appeared. In that case, I believe it's vital that I investigate the Rose Garden post-haste. Wait, before you go, take a look at this, Mr. Edgeworth. The heck? What is it? My guess is that it's a guitar pick. Yeah, I was gonna say. I picked it up just now over there. Do you think it'll be of any use? Oh. It might be a button. There's little water on it. But how did the water get on it? It doesn't look like there's anything that could get wet from around here.
I was thinking, they have concerts here at this open-air stage from time to time, right?
Alright, I'll find its owner later. I'm thinking maybe it's like some sort of shirt or coat button, but I don't know. Could be actually be a pick.
Oh yeah, there's one more thing. Mr. Edgeworth, would you be willing to hold on to this?
Oh. Oh, wow. Oh. You really held on to that, Kay? What is this?
It's misused perfume. It's a bottle that woman left behind that I found 7 years ago. I thought that one day it'd be of some use in tracking her down. So I kept it safe all this time.
Thank you. I'd be honored to hold on to it for you. Wow. Well, okay. That is sure interesting. Alright, Kay, have anything new to say? No. And Gumshoe? No. Yeah, no, we're probably good to go. Can't head in this door, can I?
They're having a real time of it cleaning up after the fire.
I suppose we should stay out here and investigate the stage some more then. Alright, to the garden we go. On the Alabas side. I think I'll be returning to the investigation in Alabas now, but...
I know. I'll go back to Babal and do some more investigating there.
Oh.
I see you're back, Miles Edgeworth. How are things in Babal? Although, I can't really say I expect much from Scruffy and that girl.
The investigation into Manny Cochin's death hasn't really progressed any. However, the investigation into the Yatagarasu has.
Ah yes, the Yatagarasu. Even now, I find it hard to believe. A person who can freely traverse between the two countries at will. Preposterous.
Well, that's what I came here to investigate. I heard that this is where witnesses claim to have seen the Yatagarasu.
That's correct. Ambassador Alba was to give a speech tonight here in Alabast. And that's when the Yatagarasu appeared. The shadow of the mysterious thief appeared, and just as suddenly it vanished.
Gee. I wonder why it's being cast in a green light. Wowee, what a conundrum. Wow. I don't know if I could ever figure this one out. What a real tough one.
After that, there was the fire at the Babalese embassy that the Yatagarasu started.
I vow that not a single feather from the Yatagarasu shall escape my diligence. Begin investigation. Okay. Well, there's a fallen light fixture. And someone wearing 2 sunglasses that are actually eye patches. Yeah, let's begin by speaking to people.
Yes? Tonight, in this very rose garden, the Albastian ambassador, Kirkus Alba...
Yeah, maybe that is just Kirkus.
...was to give a commemorative speech. A very key commemorative speech at that. And including Agent Lane, the security detail is very tight. But as if to mock our efforts, the Yatagarasu appears. Then, just like that, the thief vanished and starts a fire at the Babalese embassy.
Interesting. And are you sure it was the Yatagarasu who appeared here?
Of course. But to have slipped by such tight security, and then disappear into thin air, we will need to conduct a very thorough investigation of this area.
Yes, my thoughts exactly.
in order to find out the truth behind what happened here. I should start by gathering as much information as I can. Do you have anything about this pic? Miss Von Karma, what do you think of this piece of evidence? Well, since you asked so nicely as my subordinate, I'll answer you. However, as your superior, I must also make sure that my subordinates grow on the job. Yeah, we saw this. Okay, you were there 7 years ago. Any thoughts on the perfume? Nope. Okay. Nothing about the lantern yet, either. How you doing? Have you finished checking out all the bystanders? Yes, sir. And we found 14 counts of pickpocketing, 16 counts of illegal parking, and 1 person ran a light, sir. Don't tell me you didn't find out anything related to the case. Sir, not a single thing, sir. Well, for now, let's get those other lawbreakers down to the precinct. Agent Lane. Well, if it isn't Mr. Prosecutor. I would just like to thank you for your assistance earlier. Make no mistake, it's not like I was trying to help you with what I did. After I left, did you receive word from Ambassador Alba? We're to wrap up our bodyguard assignment at the end of today. Oddly enough, we received word from HQ to return home as an urgent matter. As if I can be so easily called away from this case after I've come this far. I swear that I'll find the truth and drag it out screaming into the light. You're with me on that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Well, let's have a chat. You were working as Ambassador Alba's bodyguard at the time. So naturally, you witnessed when the Yatagarasu appeared, correct? Yeah, saw the thief all right, with my own 2 eyes. The Yatagarasu was always there, lurking in the shadows. When the spotlights were turned on for Ambassador Alba's speech, a shadow appeared. That's when the cries of, "It's the Yatagarasu!" ran out. The next second, the spotlight went out. And by the time we got the area lit again, the deft thief had vanished. Wow. This is some square peg goes in square hole stuff here. It's like, seriously? When we investigated afterwards, we found that the reason the lights went out was because someone had unplugged the extension plug for all the outdoor electronics. Whether it was someone doing it on purpose, or simply a guest who had tripped over it, we don't know. But one thing is for certain. The Yatagarasu was here. So you're saying that, basically, all you saw was the thief's silhouette? Yes. If all you saw was a shadow, then it's entirely possible that the shadow belonged to someone else. Good thinking, sis. You just might be right. If it weren't for the fact that there was no one else with that same shape. Not among the staff or the audience members. My men have already done a thorough check of everyone, so I know I'm right. Someone else's shadow. That sounds like a plausible hypothesis. Okay, anything new about the badge? There's no value in trusting those who bear this mark. Let me fill you in on what I hate the most in this world. People who go around showing off that badge. Sorry, but that's one opinion I'm never gonna budge on. Okay. Agent Lane, I'd like to ask your opinion on this piece of evidence. Are you joking? You're asking for my opinion. Our mutual goal is to search for the truth, in which case wouldn't cooperation be best? Lane G says, only cooperate with those you can trust.
Sorry, but I'm not one to place my trust in you prosecutor scum so easily.
I'll take that as a no.
The pick, maybe? No. And nothing for the lantern yet. Great. Okay, how about you, Man in Black?
How is the investigation proceeding on your end?
Elaine, she says that's top secret?
If you're going to attempt to imitate your superior, at least do it well.
I don't suppose he believes in the accidental leakage of information. Okay, then. Well, what's happened here is painfully obvious to me. Someone got a little paper cutout made and set it up in front of one of the lights. I don't suppose people will be so lucky as to find it still attached to one of these lights, but who knows. Yeah, I feel like we've spent a lot of time on this case already, but we've made pretty much no progress. Everything to do with Larry and Wendy has been kind of a wild goose chase, just a distraction to get us running in circles for a bit. I feel like now the investigation can actually proceed. Also, if you go down, it looks like the theater hallway is down there. I wonder if we'll be able to go down there later. Actually, can I click the map? Well, I can use it to move, but... I would like a full view of the area, but what can you do? Anyway. Yeah, I guess there's nothing else for it. Next time, we'll poke around here in the garden, see what new evidence we can find. And when the time comes, I guess it'll be really easy to prove what happened to Lane. And I said a few videos ago that I strongly suspect I cracked the case already. I have yet to see anything that disproves my idea. I'll keep my card close to my chest here, but the information I've learned kind of fits with the idea, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, I'm Zephyr the Jester. This has been the ever awesome Ace Attorney Investigations. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you next time. So until then, please take care.